Hi, everybody. This is Kingsbury from Crook County High School. I'm the College and Career Readiness Coordinator and Aspire Coordinator. I'm here today with Jeremiah Kenfield. He is the Battalion Chief at Crook County Fire and Rescue, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the volunteer education program they offer there and what that program looks like and different information. So Jeremiah, take it away. You can give us a little info.
All right. Well, thank you, Carissa, for the invitation to be here. And so, like you mentioned, we do offer a volunteer education program. It's similar to a scholarship that combines both the education at Central Oregon Community College with on-the-job training. So the ideal applicant is somebody who wants to be in the fire and EMS profession, so a paramedic and or a firefighter, maybe both. And so you're enrolled in COCC, and you go to school there during the fall, winter, and spring terms. And then while you're going to school, you're also getting the on-the-job training here at the fire station. So while you're here in the program, we do reimburse you at the end of each term after you successfully pass all your courses, obviously. And you will get reimbursed for your tuition, your lab fees, books, anything that's associated with your degree in progress. So it's really a great opportunity to kind of get in the profession if it's something that you want to try out, if you want to do. We do offer two different options within the education program. The first one's a resident program, and that program is year-round, and during the summer months, you're assigned to one of the shifts volunteering, gaining all of the really good experience there. And then when school starts, you're going to school and then still pulling some shift down at the fire station throughout your school. You do live at one of our fire stations year-round, and then you also get that stipend that's around $550 per month to kind of help with fuel and food and those sort of expenses.
Yeah, which is a really cool opportunity to be able to be there and live there and see how it all works. It's a good like immersion training. I think that seems like a great opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. We call it drinking water from the fire hose because it's a lot of information and you're submerged in it for the time, but you really know at the end of the time is, I really want to do this and it's exciting, or, this really isn't my thing. So
yeah, and sometimes it's the best way to learn, like hands-on education, and like you're getting both sides and kind of like firsthand experience and not just like book learning. I feel like that can be a really cool thing, especially for students who are involved in like, CTE programs or hands-on training. I think that's a really cool thing. And don't a lot of Crook County students, I've seen quite a few graduates that have kind of been involved and checked out your guys' program, it seems like.
Yeah, we've had several local Crook County and in the Tri-County area have gone through our scholarship program. Mm-hmm. And the reality of it is to get in the profession, fire and EMS, everybody starts out as a volunteer somewhere. And so it's not like you just apply for a job with zero training and they train you. You have to get that basic entry-level training somewhere. And so we've had a majority of our career people involved in this program or a similar program in the region. And so it's really exciting when we can bring on a local Crook County student into our scholarship program.
Yeah, and what would you say are some of the things like when your application is open, and then also when students are applying, what are some of the recommendations you have for them to either not miss or to be set apart from others?
Yeah, I think obviously the first impressions mean a lot in the fire and EMS profession. And so the first time you meet somebody or speak to them or email them, it is the start of the interview process. And so I think getting your name out there, speaking with me on the phone, virtually, or whatever we can set up and maintain social distancing to really get to know everybody is a good thing. I think that's kind of getting your foot in the door per se. And like I said, as you're getting in the professional world, your emails, that is important, making sure it's grammatically correct. And then even what your email is also very important, because we've had a lot of those over the years where it's time to change your email address to something a little more professional.
Yes, and students, that is a good point. Do not use your Crook County High School email because you will not receive emails back and it goes away after you graduate. So that's another tip. Don't use your Crook County High School email when you're applying. And then also, again, professionalism. I agree. When you're messaging people, you are having an interview that you don't even know that you're having. It's a first step into the process of the communication styles. I think that's very important. That's a good point. And then your application is open now, correct?
Correct. Yep, it is open.
Great, and it's open. And then when does that end? I don't have that.
So yeah, applications are open, and then so it is a competitive process. So we generally have in the neighborhood of 10 to 20 applicants apply, and depending on how many positions I have available, it varies how many I pick up each year. But the competitive process is generally the end of March timeframe, and sometimes into April, depending on the year. And really, it's just a written test and physical agility. So.
Great. So students, at the end of this video, I will have some information about how to get a hold of Jeremiah. If you have some questions, you can also talk to me, get some advice about that. If you need help in the application process, we would love to help you and communicate with you in that way. And thank you, Jeremiah, for taking the time to kind of talk to us, give us some information about the awesome program that you guys have to offer. And we appreciate you letting us know a little bit about what you guys do over there.
Yep. Well, thank you for the invitation. And if you're interested, please get a hold of me, and I'd love to chat with you further.
Great. Thank you. Hi, everybody. This is Kingsbury. Again, I am the College and Career Readiness Coordinator and Aspire Coordinator here at Crook County High School. I am accompanied by Natalie Spry today. She is going to be talking to us a little bit about the Rotary Scholarship. She is the Scholarship Committee Chair for them, and she's going to talk about things about their scholarship, what they look for, some tips and tricks. So, Natalie, go ahead, take it away.
All right, thanks for tuning in. The Crook County Rotary Club has done high school and collegiate scholarships for years. I don't have the exact number off the top of my head, but for many years now we've done it. It's a fairly simple process. Our application is accessible through the high school's online portal, online website, as well as the Crook County Rotary Club website as well. There's a couple of minimums and requirements that we have, but in general, we encourage everybody to apply. Minimum GPA is 2.75, and that we analyze a number of things. In the application, you'll see there's a financial analysis. Please complete that. That gives us an idea of not only what your needs are, but kind of what you've done yourself. There's a section for what you've earned yourself through either existing other scholarships or work. As well as your financial aid from your family and other financial aid sources. So please complete that. Timely submission of your application. We do ask that you get those in on time. I do have a cutoff date, and that cutoff date on the application, if they're post-dated after that, unfortunately, I do set them aside, and we do not consider those for the scholarship.
That's a good point. Students, if you are going to be mailing them the postmark, you need to make sure it gets to the post office before 11. That's when they change over the postmark to the next day. So if you're even wanting to turn it into us and having us mail it to them or turn it into them, you need to make sure that you give it to us with enough time so that you don't get disqualified just for not mailing it a little bit beforehand. So thanks, Alex. That was a good point.
If you are running to the post office and you are afraid of that, just bring it down to me here at Mid-Oregon Credit Union in Prineville in front of Bi-Mart. That's my office, and I can accept those in person as well. There is a set of essay questions, some short essay questions and one long essay questions. We told those to come from the heart. Complete as much as possible with really what you truly are feeling are the points of Rotary that we touch on, our keys to success and what we strive for. Those are located in those questions. So just come from the heart. And also you'll have your, there's a couple letters from either teachers or people of your community, of your circle. One thing I suggest on those is kind of explore different sources. So maybe one teacher, maybe one from either maybe it's a coach, maybe it's someone through your religious organization. Kind of get a diversification there. It gives us an idea of how broad your touch points are in the community, as well as different, they tune into different parts. Does that make sense, Chris, of what I'm saying?
Yes, you get a variety, more big picture, which maybe a teacher knows about certain academic sides, but maybe your boss knows that you're like super involved and been a great employee. Yeah, so I think that getting a variety, and also guys, another point is asking early so that you can make sure you get some good letters of recommendation that aren't, universal and last minute. For some teachers, they're busy, bosses in the community, they have jobs themselves. I'm sure you'd give it ahead of time. And then even some of the activities charts and everything that you do in careers or Avid, you can turn that in with like a request for a letter of recommendation. So they might know everything about you, but they might not know some of those specific details like dates, or you've done 4-H forever, but they didn't know that you got like 20 awards while doing it. So those are some of the things that can help for these applications.
Perfect. Yes, so I want to go back to the questions that we asked, just to kind of give you guys an idea before you get into the application. For Rotary, we have 4 guiding principles, and it's our 4-way test. And so those things are: is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? So those are the questions that we ask in our essays, just to give you kind of a little bit of a insight to what kind of questions you'll answer. And then the other tips and tricks that I have is make sure you're not handing in the same one the following year. I have unfortunately thrown out a lot of applications, because we do if you apply in high school, we encourage you to continue applying throughout your college education. So I've been able to give scholarships to students throughout their entire collegiate career. And unfortunately, I've had to throw some out because I've seen the same letters over again. The essay questions are just slightly modified. So we encourage you to continue applying, but please make sure that you are starting fresh every year. You change so much year after year. Your experiences will drive your essay questions, and we want to see that growth and the adaptation and the thoughtfulness put into it.
That's a good point. And like some of the letters of recommendation that you can look for, like when you're actually in school, it could be like from a teacher or an advisor, or someone that's helping you and kind of has an idea, or like a mentor. I think that's a good point. You don't want to use the same one you used in high school, because you're a different person since then. Like you might have more experiences. And then that's another good point, is not using the same kind of essay, because they'll know. And a lot of people will like reuse essays for different scholarships and stuff, but you want to make sure they're detailed to like where you are in that moment for that question. So that's a good point. You don't want to be rushing through it, because it is worth your time. If you really put some effort into it, that's a lot of money for only a little bit of your time, a couple of hours. It's a lot of money that they want to give you guys, and they want to give it. They're not like.
Exactly. And we honestly, for the Rotary Club, it's the joy that I have is just allowing you to use it your best. You know best what you need it for. Do you need it for books? Do you need it for housing? Do you need it to help pay your tuition? We simply give you a check and say, please use this responsibly. We trust that we are picking the right candidates that are moving forward with their education, and this is going to help them do so. So we do ask for you to send us back just proof of enrollment, but after that, it's yours to do what you wish with it. We just hope to see you come back next year for, just help us along the way. And we like to touch base with you. So if you hear us, give us a phone, or if we give you a call, or we send you an email that we want to see you again, it's because we want to just check in, and we want to use your the winners recipients testimonial and how it's helped them to help encourage others to apply, and donors for that matter, because all of our funds that we give out are funds that we've received from the community of individuals just donating to our charity and our event held on April 1st. So we do like to continue.
And that's a good point, you guys. So at the end of the year, like when we do the senior awards night and you find out if you've been a recipient of the scholarship, you want to pay attention to how you get those funds. So like Natalie said, when you have to prove your enrollment, like you have to register for classes and everything, because you're not just going to get the check without showing that you've gone to school. They want to support you in your school efforts. And again, it can be sent out in a check, so you don't have to use it for only one specific purpose with school, but you do have to prove that you are pursuing education in some point for your funding.
Yes, and we want to see more trade schools. We have a lot of four-year degrees or associates, but we also want to support the trade schools. So if you're going to want to be an electrician, or you want to be a carpenter, if you're doing any of those type of continuing education, please don't hesitate to apply. We definitely want to support all avenues of continuing education.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of students in our CTE programs and that want to go into like a career technical trade of some sort, whether it be through a school, but in a trade or in, a technical school or an apprenticeship. Definitely apply. They want to help fund you too. It's not just students going to a typical college. It's many students. They want to help everybody. That's awesome.
Yes. Well, so last year, for example, with COVID, I know there's a lot of changes that happened. It was a scary year for high school seniors. So I will say that everybody that qualified, we gave out scholarships to. I definitely, my team and I did not want to make it more difficult and exclude anybody. So as long as the applications were complete and I had all the boxes checked off, we were able to provide a scholarship to, and I hope we'll be able to do something similar this year, but that doesn't always mean that's not always the case, but just so happened last year.
Well, and that's great to know, students. So like if you're like, oh, I'm not going to apply because there's probably a bunch of other people applying. What if there's other students thinking the same thing and you would have had really good odds if you would have just turned it in? And it's not that much effort. I mean, a lot of this stuff is, again, similar to other scholarships you're doing, but you might just have to, create it to be more unique to this scholarship. But again, that could be the difference between you receiving a scholarship and not. And there might be not a ton of students, there might be a lot, but you never know. It's worth your time. I think that's an awesome thing to know about that for those students that got those scholarships last year. It's great.
We encourage it. I like to see every year the number increase. So if you have any
Yeah.
questions, give me a call. Come see me.
Yes. I will have the information for contact at the end of this video. I'll have some contact for Natalie and then for myself if you guys have any questions for either of us. And Natalie, thanks for joining us today. I think you gave us some really good information about the scholarship, and hopefully students apply. Please apply.
Yes, definitely. And we encourage you to inquire about Rotary. If you have any additional questions, you can come see us at a meeting too.
Awesome. Thanks, Natalie. Appreciate
Yes, you're welcome. Take care.